In the summer of 2022, 3 intrepid strangers embarked on a bike tour from Panama to Ecuador. This is their story.
Vengo bajando borrachito. ¿Eso qué fue lo que me dio, compadre? ¿Seco o vinagre? Eso sí que me gusta, compadre. Este puro seco, panameño.
Our adventure began in Panama City, where we embarked on a mad dash across the isthmus to the Caribbean. Now, if there's one word to describe our time in Panama, it would have to be wet. In fact, I think the closest any of us had ever been to drowning would have to be in a Panamanian rainstorm. But after only 3 days of riding, we found ourselves drying out under the eaves of a seaside balcony in colorful Portobello, eagerly awaiting our sailboat to Colombia. We just hoped that ours would be a little more seaworthy than the ones we saw scattered throughout the harbor.
¡Gózalo, gózalo! ¡Bueno! ¡Qué rico!
Sailing to Colombia was definitely a trip highlight. After motoring out to the Ave Maria and carefully strapping our bikes to the bow, we set sail into gentle swells, only to awake several hours later in the San Blas Islands. Now, to say the scenery was paradise would be putting it lightly. We spent our days moored alongside comically beautiful islands, lazing in the sun, snorkeling amongst the fish, and combing the beaches with our fellow shipmates, an assortment of like-minded adventurers from around the world, each on their own unique journeys. But soon the islands were behind us, and ahead lay a tempestuous open ocean crossing the Cartagena. We found ourselves tossed around through passing culo de pollo tropical storms before deftly navigating into Cartagena harbor under the glow of city lights. From the moment our passports were stamped, we knew Colombia was going to impress. Cartagena's flamboyance and energy quickly recharged our sunburned and salt-sprayed bodies, and after only 2 days, we were ready to begin venturing inland towards Medellin. The first few days were suffocating, with the sun searing down as we meandered through swamplands and coastal plains into the Andean foothills. But as the roads began to trend ever upwards, the heat quickly turned to rain. Most locals couldn't help but wonder why we'd spend our vacation time doing this, and at times neither could we. But with ponchos donned, feet dampened, and spirits high, we made our way under cloudy skies further into the mountains. And after a searing descent out of the clouds, we cooled our sizzling brake pads and rode wearily into Medellin, ready for another chance to rest up and explore one of Colombia's extraordinary cultural capitals. Cycling through the Zona Cafetera was sublime. We spent days meandering dirt back roads, flanked by banana trees and coffee plants, eating more arepas than any human should safely consume, and experiencing endless hospitality everywhere we went. We couldn't help but be mindful of the extraordinary settings in which we found ourselves. Colombia's infamous punchy climbs were interspersed with countless water crossings, and after hours of climbing, we were often rewarded to grand vistas overlooking misty valleys. We found ourselves wiping the mud from our faces and bikes after long days in the saddle, but it seemed that the dirtier we were by day's end, the more stories we had to tell. The three of us rode onward together, collectively humbled by the experiences we were sharing in this extraordinary country. As we headed east over the Cordillera Central, the scenery began to change. Wax palms and coffee plants were replaced with cacti and red rocks as we entered the Desierto de la Tatacoa. We felt small in this alien landscape, with only dirt roads and mosquitoes for company. But, in only a matter of miles, the scenery became green again as we neared our final mountain pass along the infamous Trampolín de la Muerte. This legendary road was a fitting way to conclude our time in Colombia, snaking us up a sinuous precipice and over to Ecuador. From Tulcan, we hitched a bus to Quito, and it was here that our paths diverged just as quickly as they had come together back in Panama. There's something to be said about life on a bike. It's rhythmic, yet unpredictable. You learn to embrace discomfort, grit your teeth, slow down, breathe deep, and smile. And as the three of us traversed south on this Pan-American adventure of ours, we couldn't help but feel grateful for the freedom and connection that such a simple little machine could offer us.